Welcome to Menopause Moguls podcast, the Elevation Talk series, with yours truly, Dr. Joyelle. I am Dr. Joyelle, the Menopause Mogul, board-certified OBGYN and business coach for Black women 40 and over, and my mission is to educate, embolden, and empower Black women and other women of color in their journey through health and careers. This is a space for Black women and other women of color to share their compelling trials and tribulations in their health and or in their careers and businesses. This is where we recognize the humanity of Black women and show how Black women continue to elevate despite midlife challenges and changes. Hey. Welcome back to Menopause Moguls, y'all. It's our birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Those of you who are listening, you can possibly hear my pom-poms going. And those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see them. Welcome back, y'all. Hey. It's Dr. Joyelle on Menopause Moguls, y'all. It's my birthday. It's our birthday. And I just want to start by saying thank you. First of all, those of you who are watching, y'all see I have these are my original headphones when I first started podcasting. Can y'all tell, those of you who are watching, my favorite color? Those of you who are listening, y'all gotta come in on YouTube and watch because y'all can see my favorite color is just based on what I have on as well as my headphones. But I had to give up these headphones, these my Beats by Dre headphones, because y'all look at they all toe up. Look at that. All toe up. So I had to give those up and have not as of yet bought a new set of headphones, but I'm just using these other ones. So, but it is what it is, right? I again want to thank you. I am so grateful, y'all. My first episode of podcasting dropped on February 10th, 2021. We are 3 years, almost 3 years, but when this podcast is uploaded or dropped, this actual episode is not going to be quite February 10th, but it's close enough. And I want to just express my extreme gratitude for those of you who have been rocking with me from the beginning. And those of you who know from the beginning that we were originally called Midlife-ish, and it transitioned into Menopause Moguls in April of 2021. So, but thank you for rocking with me for almost 3 years, going on 3 years. And I want to thank all of you new subscribers and new listeners for watching and tuning in every single week. I, again, just cannot express how grateful I am for all of you because this is how it all started. And I just want this episode to not only inspire you, but activate you into walking in your purpose, into walking in your assignment. So I just, as we come upon our 3-year birthday anniversary, whatever you want to call it, I obviously had to take a step back and look back at where I started. And I've said on other episodes how we really have to be intentional about celebrating our wins and celebrating our progress. And I have to admit, when I was sitting down to think about what I want to talk about on this episode, I'm like, wait a minute, it's almost our birthday. Like, hello, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about the progress that we have made since the very beginning. So I just want to take y'all back to what I was feeling and thinking when I started this whole podcasting gig. And I have truly loved all of it. Obviously it had some bumps along the way, but I've truly enjoyed pouring into all of you and talking with all of you and sharing with all of you parts of me and my journey as I go through this midlife journey. And like I said, when I started back in February 2021, I remember thinking like, oh my God, I'm about to start a podcast. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? Are people going to want to listen? Am I going to sound stupid? What, do I really want to do this? So these are all the questions that I had. And of course, the emotion was fear, right? Being so afraid. And I remember when I first started, I wanted it to be perfect. I would record like it was, just audio, right? So record the episode, listen to the episode, cringe when I hear my voice because I just could not stand listening to my own voice. And as I was listening, I'm like, oh my God, I sound stupid. I need to do this over again. So I would re-record the episode, y'all. Like, just imagine doing that over and over and over again for one episode. Okay? That is how perfection was trying to stronghold me in the beginning of my podcasting journey. But I eventually let go of that and continue to be a recovering perfectionist. And now I just record and send it to the editor and be done. Upload it and then be done. All right. Like there's no re-listening, re-recording, no nothing. All right. Y'all get what y'all gonna get and don't get upset. But that's how I started, right? So wanted to be perfect. Wanted to record podcasts without notes. Y'all, let me tell you, this chick right here, I was doing live videos. I was doing podcast episodes, trying to remember everything in my head. Like speak off of just memory. Let me just tell you, that's just crazy. So don't do that at home. If you're thinking about podcasting, you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about, use notes, y'all. Use an outline, use notes. It's okay. Again, that played into my perfectionism and my looking like or sounding like I had it all together and perfect and didn't need any notes and la la la. Like, no, nah, girl. I got over that too, obviously, right? So, but yeah, I would do that and wanted things just to be perfect. And again, worrying about, what people will say, what will they think, what people will subscribe. But I obviously got over those. I got through those thoughts and those hesitations and started recording. And I would wake up 5 a.m. in the morning and record in my bonnet, y'all. Record in my bonnet. I would wake up, get a cup of water, start drinking, and press record and start recording in my bonnet. And my voice was sounding all scratchy. It sounded. Go back and listen to the first couple of episodes, y'all. Again, just looking back, it just makes me laugh because I'm like, wow, I was really doing that. And I did that for a while. And I did it so early in the morning because I wanted to record before the kids got up. At that time, I was also working full time. So I wanted to, get the recording done before I got the kids up, before I got started, getting ready to go to work. So I was doing all that, y'all. 5 a.m. in my bonnet, recording podcast episodes, voice sounding crazy. But I did it, right? I did it. I hired, and it got down to the editing part. And I'm like, okay, some things you got to like just give it to somebody else. And, of course, me being the perfectionist again, I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do everything, right? Like record, listen, edit. No, I learned very quickly, like, this is not your ministry. And this is going to take up so much of your time. So I had to hire somebody. I, went through Fiverr. I don't know if you all are familiar with that, but Fiverr is this big, website where you can find so many different things, whether it's podcast editing, branding for your website, all these things. It's just awesome. And, my business coach actually recommended them to help with editing of my podcast. But I, had to learn quickly that I did not have to do every single thing when it came to the podcast, as far as the editing. Because again, my brain was like, okay, you can do it all. You should do it all because it has to be perfect. And I said, eventually he's like, yeah, no, you can't. You can't. It's not sustainable. It's not a smart thing to do. So give it to somebody else to do it. So I did do that, right? So send it off to get it edited, and then they send it back to me. Then I upload it onto my podcast host platform. I use Buzzsprout. And initially, when they send it back to me, I would take a listen to the episode again, trying to nitpick and see what I could have said better and what I should have said instead of the other thing that I said, like all these things. Again, perfection. Y'all told y'all, perfectionism was a big chain, right? That could have really got me stuck and not do the things that I've done so far in regards to the podcast. But I'm happy and grateful that I was able to let go of those chains of perfectionism and be delivered from that. And like I said, continue to be a recovering perfectionist. So when I eventually was just getting the podcast episodes after the editor, I would just upload it. I wouldn't listen to it. I was just like, all right, here it is, upload it and be done. Right, on to the next. And like I said, we went from Midlife-ish to Menopause Moguls, just because of where I wanted to direct my business and the content around that. I felt Menopause Moguls was a better fit for what I was talking at the time. So I will podcast I will record every week. And eventually the 5 a.m. recordings became harder to do. I was interrupted by my son a lot of times. I'm like, dude, like, why are you up so early? Like I think he like felt me awake and was like, okay, mommy's up. I need to be up too. So I had to change when I recorded my podcast episodes, and I changed it to, midday while the kids were at school. And at this point, I actually had decided to, now I'm thinking about it, this actually was then I was homeschooling the kids at the same time. That's okay. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to think back. I was actually homeschooling the kids at this time, right? So, but I was still working. So we basically will go, some days can work virtually, and then other days we have to go into the office. So I had to determine when I can actually record in between lessons. Yeah, that was fun too. Trying to determine, okay, y'all be quiet. Mom's going to go record a podcast episode. I need you to be, no fighting, no this. Like, get your snacks, be quiet, and play quietly, right? On our homeschooling break. So I had to figure all of that out. And I did, right? Eventually it worked out, and I was able to record podcast episodes. And I did that. And I have had over 20,000 downloads. My podcast has been downloaded all over the world, y'all. Europe, obviously in this, in the country, right? All around the country, well, all around the world, Europe, Asia, Africa. Like, oh my God, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. And I have to say that before all of this, when you think about what you want to do, you have visions of you walking in your purpose. And I would write those down. And one of those things was my voice being heard globally. And at the time when I wrote it, I didn't know how that would come to fruition, but here goes the podcast, right? And my voice is being heard globally, like all over the world, which is amazing to me. And I want to thank all of you, right? All of you all over the world for tuning in and listening to what I have to say. I'm going to try not to get emotional, but I'm already getting emotional. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know how I do. But I'm so eternally grateful, y'all, for you all to take the time to listen to what I've had to say, my perspectives on things. And again, I've just truly enjoyed it so much. I didn't really think that I would enjoy it so much, but I really, really have just the opportunity to share moments like this of, being vulnerable and just sharing how just stepping out there and doing the damn thing and reflecting on the progress thus far has been just truly amazing. And as things have evolved over, the couple years, and of course, midst of podcast episodes, I've made mistakes, right? I don't want to leave that out. I've made mistakes. I've forgotten to upload a podcast. I've forgotten to make show notes. I forgot to post that I actually have a new podcast out. Like I've made mistakes, right? And there were times where I took breaks. As you all know, I got COVID twice in 2022. And I could not record. I remember my last episode before I started recording where I could hardly catch my breath because of the symptoms after having COVID for me to record a podcast. So I had to take a break. And that was hard for me because again, let me be real. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to stop recording. But everybody's going to forget the podcast. They're going to forget what I have to say. And it's just, my whole brand will be over. Okay. This is how my brain was going, y'all. Right. So I was like, oh my gosh, how can I take a break? And again, as long COVID, my perimenopause journey has all taught me that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest. I had to give myself a permission for that. The people will be there. They will be there. But you have to take care of you. Right? I had that pressure of like, oh my gosh, I have to be on it. I have to do the podcast. I have to be on the business, like all the things. And I had to give myself the permission, like, you have to choose you, Joyelle. That replays over and over again, like every transition that I've gone through, every challenge that I've gone through over these last few years. I have to keep reminding, just like I keep reminding y'all, I have to keep reminding myself, you have to choose you. And if choosing you means taking a break, if choosing you means slowing down, if choosing you means rest, then that's what you have to do. So I did that, right? So I took breaks and obviously came back when I could, came back, and I'm still here. Right? I'm still here, y'all. I'm still standing. I'm still recording. I'm still showing up to, again, pour into all of you who are listening and now watching. And as the podcast has evolved into now video podcasting, right, onto YouTube, I recorded my 100th episode as a video, my first video podcast episode, that episode that I do with my sisters. Please go back and watch that one, y'all. That was so much fun. I invited all my sisters, the sisters I grew up with, on the podcast just to talk about all the things in regards to midlife, menopause, motherhood, everything. So go back and listen to that. But yeah, I transitioned into now having a YouTube show, right? With my podcast. And once I did that, I went from 25 subscribers on YouTube to 108 now, y'all. So thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for you all who are new subscribers. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you so much. I cannot explain how much appreciation I have for you. And some, like a small part of me would say, the hateration would be like, oh, well, it's not that much. It's only 100 subscribers. You know how those negative thoughts creep in, y'all. It's only 100. You only got to 108. That ain't nothing. Girl, please. 25 to 108, that's a win. A win is a win, right? And again, reflecting back on where I started from and where I am today, the progress is what's important. So if anything that you're doing, even if it's little things, little small wins, they all count. It all matters. It is all part of your process. This to not only inspire you, but to activate you to just start. Start that business. Start writing that book. Start that podcast. Whatever that thing is, y'all, just start. Just start. You're going to make mistakes, right? You're going to have days when you don't feel like it. I've had those days too, y'all. There have been days when I don't feel like recording. Whether I'm tired, whether I just got a lot going on, whatever the thing is. But I go back to why I started this podcast. And again, the assignment that I believe God has for me is to hop on this podcast and talk to y'all and share and pour into y'all. I've been assigned to do that. So I do it. I do it when on the days when I don't really feel like it. Because I just want to reach just that one person, even if it's just that one person who just needs to hear whatever I want to say that day. Just that one person. That is what matters. So if it's that business that you are just waiting to start, right? Like, you're thinking, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. Just start and be open and aware of the evolution of it all, right? There have been so many changes along the way when I started this podcast, as far as the name, as far as the format. Now I'm interviewing amazing guests, which has been amazing. So be open to the evolution, not only to the business or whatever you're building, but also to yourself. Again, when I started recording podcast episodes, y'all, I would, wait at least 5 and 10 minutes before I hit record. Like, seriously, I would have heart palpitations. I would get this real tightness in my chest. Like, oh my God, you about to speak. What are you doing? That's how it all started, y'all. And now I don't do that anymore. I may occasionally feel like a little but it's so much better now. I can say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Let me go ahead and do this. They need to hear what you got to say, girl. Just go on and say it. So I do it. So I show up. So I come here and share and again, pour into you because that is what, like said, I am purposed to do. I feel like I've been assigned. This is part of my assignment. So I'm going to keep showing up, right? I'm going to keep showing up. So moving forward, right? I have some ideas of where I want this podcast to go, where I want this show to go. I have visions of things, but I want to hear from you all. What would you like to see more of or hear more of on the podcast? Whether it's, more things in regards to entrepreneurship, more things in regards to perimenopause, menopause. Is there a particular guest you're interested in me interviewing? Like, y'all, I got guests. I got a long list of guests I would like to have on my podcast. Again, write it down, make it plain, and hopefully God will be like, yes, I will provide that guest. So I'll just, we'll see. But I have my own ideas, but I want to hear from you because I would not be here to this day, 3 years old, without all of you, listening, without all of you tuning in to watch on YouTube, without all of you sharing this podcast with your friends, your mama, your cousin, whoever on social media. I would not be here without all of you. And again, I am grateful. I am so, so grateful for all of you. And I want to encourage all of you to keep tuning in, keep listening, keep sharing. Share. I appreciate all of you who have left comments on YouTube. Keep leaving those comments. If you're listening on your podcast listening apps, please leave a 5-star review because when you do that, more people will see this podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm at 108 on YouTube. Let's make it more, y'all. Let's increase the global impact, y'all. That's on the agenda also, if you didn't know. So that's what I have for you all today. Like I said, I don't want this to not only inspire you, but activate you for you to just start wherever you are in your journey. Start the business. Start whatever you are being called to build. Start it and be open to the evolution of yourself as you are building it and the process of what, you have to go through in order to build that big and scary thing. I am a testament. You can do it, y'all. You can do it. Like I said, this was not part of my my vision, right? Of like, oh, I'm going to be a podcaster. Like that wasn't part of it. But I'm so glad that I stepped out there and did it, even though I was scared, even though I was nervous, even though I was a perfectionist who needed to be perfect, like every single time before I put it out there. I had to, like I said, get over that. I had to work through that in order to keep showing up and keep putting out podcast episodes. So stay tuned. I have some amazing guests already lined up for you all to tune in to listen on. And like I said, I really want to hear from you. So if you can either leave a comment if you're watching here on YouTube about what more, what topics you would like to hear more of on the podcast. If you are listening on your listening app, certainly, like I said, leave your review and also make a suggestion on the review too. I would love that. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram. Send me a DM on Instagram. I would love to hear your thoughts and your suggestions because, again, I'm here to serve y'all. Like, this is not for me, right? This is not for me. This is for y'all, and I'm here to serve y'all. And that's what I want to do. And I would like to hear from you, so I can really serve what you actually want, and need in your midlife journey. All right. All right, y'all. Again, thank you. Sending so much love and light to you in your midlife journey, your entrepreneur journey. Just know that I am here with you all. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We got this. I got you. We're in this together. All right. All right, y'all. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, comment, review, all the things. All right. All right, y'all. See y'all later. Bye.